All right, Shalom. This is Howard One by Nyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakar Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity of truth around the four corners of the earth. Um, it's going to be a quick lesson. Excuse me. Dealing with this article I was just reading. I'm going to pull it up on the stage. All right. And it says here, turn this music down. The article reads, uh, it says, what are Spear missiles? U.S. ally carries out first successful launch. All right. And the U.S. ally that it's talking about is Britain. All right. Basically the UK. All right. Which is a major part of prophecy uh, going into NATO, right? The NATO allies spoken of in the scriptures that was going to be allied with America. All right. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. All right. So this is Revelations 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, so upon the earth, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Now, this is a parable representing rising up from amongst the people. All right. A group of Edomite nations came together and formed NATO and the EU, or in the ancient times, the Roman Empire, having seven heads, right, representing NATO, and 10 horns, all right, going into the EU. And upon his head, his horns, 10 crowns, because once you understand the EU, there were originally, 27 nations, all right. And upon his heads, the names of blasphemy, all right. So upon those rulers, they had the spirit of blasphemy. All right, they were blasphemous leaders. Upon his horns, the horns represent something that's exalted or lifted up, like a ruling class. So that's those elites in NATO, the UK, England, and the beast which I saw, all right, a NATO, which we know NATO started breaking up in 2016 with what's called the Brexit, all right, meaning Britain, which is also part of prophecy. I may have to get that real quick too. But Daniel chapter 2 speaks about the miry clay, Roman, the Roman Empire or the EU losing its strength. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. It was just like Alexander and the Greeks, all right, set up to make war with the nations, um, and to protect Europe. And his feet were as the feet of a bear. All right, so the end of this system representing the feet is going to be uh, through Russia. All right. Russia is that bear, meaning enough or strong enough to defeat NATO in America. All right. That's why the scriptures right here says, Revelation 13 and 4, and they worshiped the dragon, all right, the EU or the Roman Empire, which gave power unto the beast, which gave power unto NATO and the leader of NATO, which is America, or spearhead of America is, of NATO is America. And they worshiped the beast. So all the nations submitted unto NATO, saying, who is like unto NATO or the beast, who is able to make war with him? And now the Lord, verse 2, the Lord has prepared nations like Russia, Ezekiel 38, to be a guard to these other nations, helping to each other to become strong, building up their missile defenses and their uh, military, their economy, their uh, war innovations, dealing with missile technology. It says, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. So the spokes spokesperson and the leadership of NATO is basically the UK. All right, because the leader of the UK is Britain. Okay, so um, the mouth of a lion, and the symbol for Britain is a lion. Also, let me get that real quick. Why not? All right, so the mouth of a lion. So now, go back. Share this tab. All right, because Britain is a major part of prophecy. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. All right, so now let's go here. Let's go here real quick. All right, so let's go here to Revelation 17 and 7, just to get to the point. Um, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her. Talking about NATO, which, all right, and the woman is America. The beast that carrieth her, all right, because America gets a lot of its financial and military backing from NATO. Thus, you have the Patriot Act 1, Patriot Act 2, trying to seek help and aid from these NATO allies after being attacked, allegedly attacked. All right, that's when you go in the realm of false flags here in America, um, which have which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. So the 7 heads represent NATO, 10 horns goes into the EU or the Roman Empire. The beast that thou sawest was and is not. All right. So the Roman Empire fell and it rose back up. So and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, so out of Europe. All right, and go into perdition. So going to be destroyed. So you have the fall of the Roman Empire, 436 BC. All right, really going further back to um, second century AD, and then you have 436 AD. I think I said BC. Slovakia if I said BC, but AD. All right, CE, Common Era. So and then the initial rise of the Roman Empire was them coming out of those mountains where they were ran into by those barbarians, and they came out around the 12th century to the 14th century, 1400s, was what was called um, the Renaissance, the rebirth of the Western Roman Empire. All right, and then you have when they took back Constantinople from Constantine, the descendants of Constantine, um, during the Byzantine Empire, all the way up until the establishment of NATO and the EU. All right, 1948, 1952 with NATO in Washington, D.C. And then you have the European Union. I think it was 1971, if I'm not mistaken. 27 nations. All right. But then with America being established, that's basically the whole Roman Empire reestablished again. All right. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder. So everybody was wondering after America, NATO, uh, and the EU took the background. UK they took the background and became banking countries and used America as the military might, the hammer of the earth. But now Europe is stepping into uh, a military setup again. All right, because they would go to war with you, but it would be like banking or economic war. But now they're stepping into the realm of nukes, military, army, and you even have talks of Trump looking to decouple or separate from NATO real soon. So now it says whose name were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. So that's what represented when John the Revelator was looking at America in a vision and this establishment of NATO and the European Union, how in America, how vast and glorious it was. It was symbolic of how um, 2/3 of our nation was going to be mesmerized and caught up on it, and these heathens would be mesmerized by America, all right, and its power, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is, man. All right. So it fell. It was the Roman Empire. Then it fell. And then it rose back up again in these times today. All right. Called America, NATO, and the EU. And here is the mind that have wisdom. The seven heads are seven mountains or seven countries. All right. And that's I think it's what is it, Spain, France, um England, Germania Major, Germania Minor, uh damn, what was it? Did I miss one? Italy, right? And then you have number seven would be Britain. And then you have the eighth will be the Roman Empire. All right. So it was one of the seven, but then it came back again. All right. Um and there and here is the mind that which have wisdom. The seven heads are seven mountains on which the woman sitteth. See, ruling because of NATO and its backing through Europe. And there are seven kings, seven ruling nations. Five are fallen, and one is. All right. So talking about the Roman Empire, and the other is not yet come. So my Britain being involved, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space as we go into the whole Brexit situation. So Britain is that mouth uh, for NATO spokesperson. All right. The UK now, and they continue with the EU for a short space. All right. Um, and that's Daniel chapter 2. So Britain is definitely spoken of in prophecy. You know, and matter of fact, let me get this real quick. It says here, Revelation 17:16. Um, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. All right. So England, which is also part of the UK, the European Union nations and NATO are all together, and they're going to turn and hate America. All right. Now think about it. You got Trump talking about separating from NATO real soon. All right. And who's pushing for World War III on the soils of America? Those elites, those banking elites, what they call the left or the Illuminati, all coming from Europe, and shall make her desolate and naked. Gonna strip her of her economy, resources, the mirth of the land, the electricity, everything about to be shut down. And shall in the dollar, and shall eat her flesh. All right, so that goes into um, all the resources and power here in America is gonna be taken away. All right, that good old America covering and burn her with fire. So it's gonna be a process, and they're gonna have their part in burning this place in the destruction as well. So now you're hearing Europe talking about having spear missiles. Let's get that. See that? So now they're entering the realm of nuclear missiles. It says, "What are spear missiles?" U.S. ally carries out first successful launch. All right, the first successful launch, man. So it shows you that the game is changing now. We're entering a new stage of war. Let's get that. Share this one. Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." If you watch that new Gladiator 2 movie, it starts off with nothing but war. And those battles, they look, you would think about a warrior fighting, and they got a heck of way at each other, just chopping, like chopping through trees and yelling, and and garments rolling up in blood. That's how the world wars were fought in ancient times. So the wars wouldn't be that expansive. They would ride through and pillage certain countries and tribes and towns and cities and villages. But to destroy a whole country in a matter of minutes, that's what's happened. That's what level this war has reached with nukes and nuclear fire that can destroy a whole country in a matter of minutes and have no one be left behind. All right, that's God. That's God like power. But this war shall be with burning. See, and shall burn her and fuel of fire. So look at that, fuel of fire. So this is what's coming. Everything's going to be nuclear, toxic. Share this tab. All right. So Revelations 8 and 10. Let me see if I want this. Yeah, start from 10. And the third angel sounded, Revelation 8 and 10. Um, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven. So these going to be the missiles that's going to be falling from the sky. All right. Burning as it were a lamp. So uh, they're not going to be a missile test. It's going to be actually live, fire missiles. All right. Burning as it were a lamp. If you look in the sky at the missiles, when they test fire them or they shoot them off, it look like stars in the sky or something that's lit up like a fireball. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers, so representing over here in America. All right, so upon the waters, also the people, and upon the fountains of water. And the name of the star is called wormwood, representing toxicity, man. And that fuel of fire that we was talking about. So this war is about to turn nuclear. That's why all these nations are afraid to take that next step. But the Lord going to use nation people like Biden. Biden's allegedly um, gave permission to Ukraine to launch missiles deep into Russia now, which could turn this war nuclear and turn into a World War III scenario. All right. So once they go nuclear, ain't no turning back. It's gonna be a whole new level of war and destruction and fear on this earth. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, man. All right. So basically representing over here in this portion of the country, of the earth around America. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. So it's called nuclear fallout. So many people are going to perish around the world from this war because it's going to be nuclear fallout. It's going to be not just any kind of missile or ballistic missile, but it's going to be nuclear, all right, plutonium and anthrax, whatever else they got in the damn thing, poisons, radiation. All right, so yeah, so this thing is going nuclear. That's why scriptures speak about wormwood. So it's no surprise that like the UK have this missile right here, and they called it the spear. The spear. So let's get that real quick. Get Joel 3. It says here, 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, among the nations. All right, the Gawayam, which is the nations. Prepare war. So they're all preparing for war. And Britain and the UK also are preparing for war. Wake up the mighty men. So all the leaders, um, the war hawks of these nations are, you know, um, standing up. That's what you see nations like the BRICS meeting up, and you see all their leaders coming together. All America and its allies are standing together, preparing for war. They're moving all around. You'll see Trump going to meet with Zelensky, and you know, so all the nations are preparing for war, waking up their warriors, man, their soldiers. Military tests. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. All right. So they're all going over there to what they call the Middle East or the East, and they're going over there also to Ukraine. Beat your plowshares into swords, man. So what they would use to build up their agriculture, their farming, their economy, they use that instead to build up for war. All right, into swords. No, swords are missiles. All right, different forms of missiles. Those ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Uh, that's what this one is. The spear. Then you have regular ballistic missiles. All right, and your pruning hooks into spears, man. All right. So, and the pruning hook represents, and the spear. Let me get that. Basically represents a missile as well. All right, nuclear warheads, a projectile with an iron head, iron point, a javelin. All right, um, from an unused root, meaning to hurl a lance as thrown. So these missiles going to be thrown, huge ICBM missiles with an iron point buckler, javelin, lacing, or spear. Man, so prepare all the weaponry for war. All right. So now it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So even Europe or Britain is saying they're strong now too, in a militarily. All right, hoping to dismiss America because America wants to separate from NATO. All right, trying to get the NATO allies to pay more um, percentage. All right. So now let's keep going with this topic. It says here, the UK has successfully tested a new cruise missile. London said on Sunday, as Western militaries like America push for defense investment, and Russia, China, and North Korea funnel resources into their weapons development programs. So that's the weak saying they're strong. Russia, China, North Korea, they're all funneling resources into their own weapons development programs. All right. So UK is doing it as well with the West, which is America. The cutting edge new cruise missile, dubbed the Spear, was tested from a Typhoon fighter jet in Sweden. The British Defense Ministry said in a statement. The miniature missile, let me make the screen bigger. All right, the miniature missile did not have a live warhead. See, that's why the scripture said that it's going to be live. Once they shoot them off to the other ends of the earth, they're going to be live and on fire, ready to destroy. All right, so these aren't live warheads yet. When it autonomously navigated to the target, so they got these missiles have AI technology. All right, that's why the scriptures say that they shall not miss their mark. They shall travel through the cities, going around missile defenses. It should be like an army. All right. The government said the missile then used a radar seeker, guiding it toward the target, and radio frequencies imagery to successfully engage it, man. Let me get this precept real quick. Maybe I have to get it on here. I'm gonna just read it from the phone. It says, this is Wisdom of Solomon 5:20. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword. See? And so this represents the Lord's wrath, man. The warheads. Um, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. And that goes into the elect. So in that day, we're looking for the Lord to exalt us and give us endow us with power, all right, to fight with him against uh, the heathen. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad. So the right aiming thunderbolts, right here it says here, where was that? Okay, from the clouds. So and from the clouds representing the chariots. So the chariots going to be um, casting in fire. The elect going to be getting busy, hopefully in that day, and those missiles going to be destroying not only the nations that are caught up in World War III, but specifically America. All right, this plays Babylon. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well drawn bow, shall they fly to their mark. See that? The missile right here. The missile then used a radar seeker guiding it toward the target and radio frequency imagery to successfully engage it. Look at that. So the Most High going to have these missiles on a whole nother level technologically and dealing with AI, artificial intelligence. So where it can be used and make sure it hits its target. It says here, and hailstones full of wrath that goes into these warheads. All right, this the hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out of a stone bow. All right, or a spear. So the nuclear warheads are cast out of the ICBMs, the missiles, the projectile. And the water of the sea shall rage against them. See, that's what it said. This wormwood is going to drop into the waters and amongst the people. So it's going to be on land and in the sea. So it can attack on either one, causing tsunamis and the waters to be polluted. All right. And the floods shall cruelly drown them. All right. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. Wake up the mighty men. So they're going to be overthrown through ill dealing through World War III. All right. So it was a point I wanted to catch. Yeah, it's going to be like a storm shall blow them away. The nuclear winds. So let me see something. Let's get that real quick. We just brought this out at camp the other day, but I want to read it right now. Isaiah 34:1, because they don't understand the type of battle they're about to get into, just like Mike Tyson did. I don't know what the hell that was. But then when you get in the fight and you realize you're not ready. Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. Right? Because this destruction is going to destroy the land, people, and animals. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, man. That's why it's going to be World War III. And his fury upon their armies, man. So they're going to get caught up in a nuclear battle where they just get melted over there. And he have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter, man. Because this type of war is not going to be a basic man face to face war or a basic shootout. It's going to turn nuclear to where people they start getting disintegrated over there. They're already using all kind of new modern weapons, vaporizing each other over there, man. Their slain shall be cast out, and their stank shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. It's gonna be destruction all over the earth, but mainly here in America. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as the scrolls, meaning this thing gonna go nuclear. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and all and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Goes into his spears as well. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. So it's also that war in the what they call the Middle East and over there in Ukraine, when that really heats up into a straight up, not a proxy war, but a direct war, Armageddon and nuclear war, right? Tactical nukes. It's going to put fear in everybody around the world, especially here in America. And it's going to lead up to that destruction building up and coming over here to this place. All right. And it shall come down upon Idumea, Babylon, America, and upon the people of my curse to judgment, 2/3 as well, and these heathens. All right. So let's go back to here. It says the miniature missile did not have a live warhead when it autonomously navigated to the target. The government said the missile then used a radar seeker, like Terminator, man, guiding it toward the target and radio frequency imagery to successfully engage it. Recent conflicts have demonstrated the need for precision strike weapons that can operate night and day in all weather conditions against severe countermeasures and importantly attack moving and maneuvering targets. According to European defense giant MBDA, that's the sign you see in the background of this picture, which manufactures the spears. That's a weapons manufacturing company for Britain in the UK. So they're manufacturing a missile called the Spear. It's prophecy, man. That's what times we in. All right. That's deep. I'm gonna say that scripture for a minute. Long range strike weapons. Long range, man. That can be shot from one end of the earth to the other, like the scriptures say, including those launched from fighter jets flying outside of the grasp of an enemy's air defenses, have stepped into the spotlight in Ukraine. All right, so they got missiles that can and planes that can fly outside of someone's air defense. The air defense system only reaches around a certain level of kilometers that can protect its own domain. But these missiles and these planes, these fighter jets, nuclear empowered, can fly outside of that and attack missiles further off the coastline. Um, it says Kiev has repeatedly requested weapons with long range capabilities from its allies, including the UK, which has furnished Ukraine with an unknown number of its Storm Shadow air launch cruise missiles. Much like with the US supplied ATACMS ground launched ballistic missiles, Ukraine is not allowed to use Storm Shadows to target deep into Russia. But now you got Biden giving permission to Zelensky and Ukraine to start targeting deep into Russia, which is Russia said if any nation supplies or encourages Ukraine to do so, then it's going to be a direct war with their country, causing World War III. And is thought to have received limited stocks of long range weapons. China has also built up its military capabilities. See, let the weak say I'm strong. Described by the Pentagon as the pacing threat. Pacing, like that's deep, man. That's Habakkuk chapter 2. The U.S. is up against. Russia has debuted new weapons in the more than 2.5 years of war in Ukraine. Excuse me, said they reached 1,000 day of war in Ukraine, while North Korea has plugged away with its missile testing, thought to be benefiting from uh, expertise from Moscow. All right, I hate when they write all choppy like that. All right, let's finish this out. Senior Western military officials have increasingly sounded the alarm on dwindling weapons stockpiles in the face of the possibility of wider war with Russia is going to happen. North Korea saber rattling and China's regional dominance. NATO members like the UK have pledged to significantly build up defense spending. MBT, now they're moving towards defense spending instead of the agriculture and building up their economy. They're building up their defense now. All right. MBDA described the spear as a next generation. See, this is the era of war that we're in. Next generation of war. All right. The spear as a next generation weapon powered by a turbojet engine, keeping the aircraft firing the weapon away from the air defenses systems that could target the jet. All right. So it has a system inside of these missiles where it can propel it further out away from the coast and keep it from being hit by its own missile defense system. The missile designed to hit both land and sea targets. All right, because you're gonna have a lot of Navy ships around America. You're gonna have a lot of submarines. So when these nations begin to launch their missiles, they're going to be aiming into the waters as well. That's why I said the water is going to turn bitter, polluted, which be launched from or will be launched from the UK's F-35B fleet, with each jet able to carry 8 of the missiles. The Spear has a range of around 100 kilometers that can reach another country, or just over 60 miles compared to the 155-mile range of Storm Shadow and roughly 186 miles in the grasp of ATACMS. The new missile is crafted to use for use against the likes of enemies, air defenses, tanks, and variety of vehicles, as well as ships or well-defended structure. The UK government said so. All right, so I'm gonna read this last part. Spear is a truly unique weapon system, said Mike Moo. Tactical tactical strike director of MBDA, the first to offer the range, flexibility, precision, and loadout to defeat modern enemy air defenses, man. That's the first. The successful trial of the pioneering Spear missile marks a significant leap forward in UK armed forces capabilities. People, man. Ensuring our Royal Navy and Royal Air Force personnel are equipped with cutting edge technology to protect our nation, British Armed Forces, Minister Luke Pollard said in a statement. Whoever wrote that is horrible, man. But yeah, anyways, look at the information, man. The spear, right? Beat your pruning hooks into spears, man. They're building it up, going into this nuclear stage of war, all right? And technological advancements in their military and weaponry. Let me get this. This one right here. Let's get this. Habakkuk. All right, and then I want to probably get. Yep, that would be it. Matter of fact, Habakkuk 2 and 2. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision. So this is a vision, a prophecy, and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. And we're running the race, running as messengers to tell the story, to tell the warning to our people. All right, the prophecy. But the vision is yet for an appointed time, man. We're in that appointed time, that stage, that era where things are changing and all the prophecies are manifesting, man. And we're moving into the a new stage of war around the world, which is going to be nuclear. And that goes into prophecy and the Lord's wrath. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, man. Man, it's going to show itself to be true. These prophecies of the scriptures, Joel 3 and 9, you know, they're beating their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks into spears. And they're saying they're strong. And this war is going nuclear. All right. Though it tarry, though it seems, see, that's why America called China a pacing threat. When you pace, like taking your time, pacing around, like a lion would pace or a tiger pacing around you before it devours, or a shark. Though it tarry, wait for it, man, because it shall surely come. It will not tarry, man. All right. So all hell is about to break loose, especially with in the realm of war. All right. So with that, wrap it up. Keep this one short today, and I'm gonna say shalom. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm gonna check the sound before I post this one. All right. With that, I'm gonna say shalom. See y'all on the next one.